Chosen one, listen to something, because this is the message that finally explains why your life has felt unfairly heavy for someone who only tries to be good. For years you've heard the words special, chosen, destined, but no one translated those words into reality. No one told you what the heavens already cataloged while watching you move through pain with a clean heart. You are not merely a kind soul God appreciates. You are a weapon. The most refined instrument ever forged, designed for a war you didn't even know you were fighting. And when I say weapon, I'm not dressing you up in poetry to make you feel powerful. I'm naming your literal classification in celestial records, a classification that silenced even Lucifer when he finally recognized it. You are God's perfect weapon, and if that sounds strange, it's because your mind imagines weapons as violent, cold, destructive, and you are the opposite, gentle, compassionate, peaceful. You don't feel like a weapon. You feel exposed, tired, sometimes defeated. But that is exactly why you are so dangerous. Because nobody expects kindness to be devastating. Nobody expects purity to be an attack. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because what you're about to understand about your design as spiritual warfare is intentionally hidden from people like you who carry power they don't even recognize as weaponry. And stay to the end, because you're going to see how your natural armament works, why God forged you with these exact traits, and why Lucifer, after thousands of years studying strategy, didn't see your kind of weapon coming. Write 777 in the comments if your life has been strangely difficult for someone who only tries to do right, and you're ready to understand why the intensity of the attacks never matched who you are. First, you have to understand what weapon means in spiritual terms, because most people hear that word and picture angels with swords and shining armor, a Hollywood version of spirituality that misses the point. Ancient scripture reveals a deeper strategy. God speaks to certain chosen ones and calls them a hammer, a weapon of war, not to start physical violence but to shatter spiritual structures. Paul explains that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, yet mighty in God for pulling down strongholds. And those strongholds are not castles of stone, they are mental and spiritual architectures that keep people trapped. Generational lies, inherited fears, normalized corruption that feels permanent. You were designed to destroy strongholds, not through brute force, but through something more lethal. Purity that exposes darkness by contrast. Darkness survives by blending in, by convincing everyone that compromise is normal, and you are built to ruin that illusion just by existing in truth. Here is how your armament works, and it's so subtle you've been active for years without realizing it. A flawed weapon needs to be consciously activated, maintained, repaired, and it can fail when pressure hits. A perfect weapon functions automatically. It operates even when its bearer doesn't know they're in battle. It can't be switched off because the mechanism is woven into its nature. Your spontaneous kindness is automatic weaponry. Every time you respond with compassion when cruelty would be easy, you fire spiritual ammunition into dimensions you cannot see. Every time you forgive without being begged, you dismantle resentment that imprisoned generations. And when you give without calculating return, systems of selfishness begin to collapse. Systems of selfishness that seemed indestructible. Your purity is not harmless sweetness, it is precision, designed to penetrate defenses that no other force can break. And the brilliance of your design is this: you operate better when you don't feel powerful, because if you knew the damage your presence causes to structures of darkness, you might become calculated, and calculation contaminates the purity of your signal. Your strength depends on authenticity. That's why God keeps you humble while using you as heavy artillery. Now, think about the traits you've questioned your whole life. Why are you so sensitive in a world that celebrates hardness? Why do you feel deeply when others seem numb? Why does your heart break over injustices that don't even touch you directly? You thought it meant you were defective. It means you're calibrated. Conventional weapons are built with reinforced steel, hardened edges, resistance, but God wasn't making a conventional weapon when He made you. He was making something darkness would never anticipate, a weapon whose strength looks like vulnerability. Your sensitivity is not weakness, it is an advanced detection system. You feel injustice because you are equipped with spiritual sensors that pick up imbalance others cannot perceive. Your easily broken heart is not fragility, it is a high-frequency receiver tuned to detect pain, which is why suffering hurts you so much, not because you're emotionally weak, but because your weaponry responds automatically to the presence of pain. You are like a spiritual landmine detector. You sense where suffering is buried, and your nature starts disarming it before anyone even names it. And that inability to ignore people in need, that compulsion to intervene when your mind knows it would be safer to walk away, that's not a defect. That's programmed attack behavior. You see someone in trouble and something inside you refuses to keep moving. You have to help. You thought that made you naive, easy to exploit. It makes you effective. Every time you step in to help, you infiltrate territory where a soul is being held by despair. Your kindness is not surface-level niceness. It is a rescue operation executed by an instrument designed to breach the defenses that keep people trapped in hopelessness. And your persistence in being good, even when being good costs you, even when it brings punishment instead of reward, that stubborn refusal to become corrupt, that is not naivete. It is the core function of your design. A weapon that surrenders under pressure is useless in a real war. You were forged with resistance that transcends human logic. Now here's what has probably haunted you. If you are so powerful, why has your life been attacked so intensely? Why did you face betrayal after betrayal, disappointment after disappointment, as if the universe itself was targeting you when all you did was try to help? The answer is simple and brutal. Dark forces identified what you are long before you did. They detected your weaponry, and they tried to destroy you before you understood your function, because a weapon that doesn't know it's a weapon can't defend itself strategically. Every betrayal was not random. It was a coordinated strike meant to teach you that kindness is stupidity, meant to shut your heart, make you cynical, make you stop intervening. Because if they could corrupt your nature, they could neutralize the most dangerous weapon in the divine arsenal. Those romantic disappointments weren't just bad luck either. They were attempts to weld your ability to love to the experience of pain, so that one day you would lock that part of yourself away. Because your love isn't just emotion, it is ammunition that frees souls from emotional prisons. And those moments when your generosity was drained, when you gave everything and received betrayal as payment, that didn't happen because you attract bad people. It happened because your giving collapses strongholds of selfishness that keep whole systems of darkness running, and darkness attacks whatever disrupts its economy. And the loneliness, the feeling of not fitting in, of being too different, of being isolated even while surrounded, wasn't proof something was wrong with you. It was strategic isolation. Dark forces know an isolated soldier is easier to defeat than one connected to their squad. But here's the part that should shake you awake. They failed. Every attack that was meant to break you tempered you. Like steel hammered again and again, each blow increased your resistance. You bent without breaking. And now you are flexible yet unbreakable. Exactly what a perfect weapon has to be. Now let me tell you what made your case extraordinary. What left even Lucifer speechless when he finally discovered it. He has watched spiritual weapons develop for millennia. He has seen warrior angels, faced prophets, studied every style of divine warfare throughout history. He is a strategist who plans centuries ahead, who scans for new threats, who monitors power as humans define it: influence, authority, platforms, resources, political reach, visible status. He was looking for the wrong weapon. He expected obvious force. He expected the loud, the celebrated, the publicly anointed. While he was watching the obvious, you were operating under his radar, dismantling strongholds with kindness he dismissed as weakness. Freeing souls with compassion he labeled harmless, collapsing systems with purity he misread as naivety. By the time he realized you were a weapon, you had already damaged his operations beyond what he could reverse quickly. And God's strategy was flawless. Weaponry that doesn't look like weaponry, strength that wears the mask of vulnerability, power that moves through humility, deployed inside someone who didn't even recognize their own lethality. Scripture describes this kind of victory, overcoming not by brute force but by testimony lived through suffering, by purity maintained when compromise would have been easier, and when Lucifer finally understood that he'd ignored the most dangerous weapon because it didn't match his assumptions about power, he felt something he rarely feels: strategic fear. Because there is no clean defense against your design. How do you stop someone whose weapon is genuine kindness? You can't strike kindness without exposing your own darkness. How do you neutralize someone who becomes stronger under pressure? You can't break what grows through suffering. How do you bribe someone who doesn't seek payment? You can't. You are a perfect dilemma for dark forces. Undetectable because you don't look like a threat. Unstoppable because you don't depend on external resources. Indestructible because your strength increases every time they try to destroy you. Now we arrive at the most important point, the part you need if you're going to stop drifting and start aiming. It's not enough to know you're a weapon. You need to know what you were built to destroy. You were not created for conventional warfare. You were not designed to fight flesh and blood. Not built to destroy visible institutions or physical people. Your function is more surgical, more devastating. You were designed to dismantle 3 strongholds that keep humanity in spiritual slavery. The first stronghold you destroy automatically is the normalization of cruelty. There is a slow poison spreading through the world, teaching people that selfishness is intelligence, manipulation is strategy, betrayal is survival, and it's become so common people call it realism. They stop questioning how toxic it is. Then you appear with spontaneous kindness, with compassion that isn't performative, with refusal to become corrupt even when everyone else does, and the contrast becomes unbearable for the lie. Your presence exposes the myth that cruelty is necessary. You prove it's possible to remain good and still survive. That demonstration cracks a mental prison that has held millions hostage. The second stronghold you destroy is learned hopelessness. Many have suffered so consistently that they built a belief system out of disappointment. Kindness doesn't exist. Everyone has an agenda. Nobody helps without wanting something back. That belief makes them cold, isolated, unable to trust, unable to connect. Then you show up and help without asking, give without calculating, care without hidden motives, and their hopelessness collapses. You restore faith in humanity by being authentic. The restoration frees them from cynicism that paralyzed their ability to live. The third stronghold you destroy is the illusion that power comes from domination. Systems of darkness run on the idea that strength is control, influence is manipulation, leadership is keeping others beneath you. That lie sustains hierarchies of abuse everywhere. But you demonstrate a different power. Power through service, strength through giving, influence through humility. And when people witness your kind of power, they begin questioning the systems that trained them to admire domination. You ignite a silent revolution that dismantles abuse at the root. These 3 strongholds sit under almost all human suffering, and you were designed to dismantle them, not with sermons, not with protests, but with coherent existence. Your life is the weapon. Your integrity is the ammunition. Your persistence is the continuous attack. And now that you understand your function, something changes, because a weapon unaware of its purpose may still be powerful, but it is imprecise, and a weapon that understands its design becomes devastatingly effective. The protection you felt around you, the strange way certain dangers dissolved, the way certain toxic people suddenly lost interest, the way you were spared outcomes you should not have survived, that protection will intensify, because God does not allow His most valuable weapons to be destroyed before they fulfill their function. You have been supervised. Michael neutralizes attacks before they reach you, shielding what is valuable. Gabriel releases intelligence, which is why messages arrive at exact timing and clarity drops into your mind when confusion should have won. Raphael heals battleware, because you've been fighting without knowing you were at war. And that creates wounds you don't even have language for. Yet peace begins to return as repair completes. Uriel sharpens discernment, the intuition that saves you from traps, the ability to read energy and motives with precision, training you to aim your weaponry consciously. And yes, within the next 72 days, full activation will complete. Stagnant situations will move. Not because you won a spiritual lottery, but because the timing of deployment has arrived. A door you thought was impossible will open because you need resources to function at maximum capacity, and provision is not payment for goodness, it is equipment for an active soldier. Connection with other chosen ones will happen because isolated weapons are less effective than coordinated forces. You will recognize others forged like you, and when they unite consciously, the impact multiplies beyond simple addition. Clarity about your specific mission will sharpen, because now that you know you are a weapon, you must know where to aim, and the coming weeks will bring unmistakable signs pointing to the exact strongholds you are meant to strike with strategic kindness. But hear this clearly. Awareness brings responsibility. You can't pretend you don't know anymore. A weapon that understands its purpose must operate with discipline. Your kindness must become intentional without losing purity. Your compassion must be strategic without becoming transactional. Your humility must remain real without turning into false modesty. Your purity must stay clean without being contaminated by ego. That balance is delicate, but it is exactly what your entire life has trained you for. And you must understand this final piece. There are approximately 250 chosen ones classified as perfect weapons across the planet. 250 among 8 billion. That's how rare you are, not for ego, but for context. You are an elite arsenal, and you are being guided toward each other because when perfect weapons collaborate, they can dismantle systems that have survived centuries. When you meet them, you will know immediately the same unbreakable kindness under pressure, the same resistance that shouldn't exist, the same purity that survived battles meant to destroy it, the same humility that hides devastating power. Connect with them, because individually you are lethal. But together you become a force that transforms cities, influences nations, shifts history. Darkness fought hard to keep you isolated because its nightmare is not your strength alone, it is your awakening and your unity. That's why it convinced you you were alone, why it tried to make you believe you were the only one who refused corruption. It lied. There are 249 more waiting to recognize you. Chosen one. Now you know the truth about your celestial design. You are not a victim of difficult circumstances. You are a weapon being forged. You are not weak for being kind. You are lethal because of it. You are not naive for staying pure. You are strategically devastating. That sensitivity you called a flaw is advanced detection. That compassion you called vulnerability is automatic weaponry. That persistence you called stubbornness is the primary function of your design. Your difficult life was not divine punishment. It was the forging process required for extraordinary resistance. Every betrayal tempered you. Every disappointment strengthened you. Every trial you survived sharpened you into a more effective version of what God intended when He created perfect weaponry. If this resonates deep in your soul, if it confirms the intuition you've carried quietly for years, then you already know what time it is. Your purity is not naivete, it is spiritual ammunition. If you're ready to operate consciously, write 777 in the comments. Subscribe, turn on notifications, share this with someone who stays kind under pressure. because perfect weapons must find each other before the final operation. And before you go, click the next video on your screen now, because I'm going to show you how to activate consciously what you've been doing automatically for years, and when we move together, we don't just survive, we dismantle darkness.